Did Trump just confirm that the US hijacked an Iranian ship to seize suspected weapons materials, turning the Chuscar into a high-seas spoils of war? A gift from China. Is Washington now resorting to desperate measures to capture and restock sensitive arms materials by grabbing cargoes? Is the truth behind the US seizure of the Iran-linked Chuscar finally exposed? Sensitive materials, dual-use metals and missile chemicals. What exactly was the Iran-flagged Chuscar carrying when US forces blew a hole in its engine room and took control? Trump said on April 21 that US forces intercepted a gift from China to Iran, according to CNBC and other outlets, claiming the seized vessel was part of Beijing's support for Tehran. Trump added that Tehran had probably done a little bit of restocking, alleging a Chinese role in helping Iran rebuild its military stockpiles, without providing specific cargo details. "We caught a ship that had some things on it, which wasn't very nice, a gift from China," Trump said, referring to the intercepted Iran-bound vessel. Trump also remarked, "I thought I had an understanding with Xi, but that's the way war goes," suggesting he believed Beijing had agreed not to arm Iran. The claim about the ship was first made publicly by former US Ambassador to the UN Nikki Haley, who raised the issue before Trump commented on it. Haley's allegation came in a social media post, saying the vessel refused repeated orders to stop before being intercepted, framing the episode as a deliberate defiance at sea. "It was another reminder that China is helping prop up Iran's regime," Nikki Haley added, arguing that Beijing is enabling Tehran's war effort. China's foreign ministry swiftly denied the allegations made by Trump and Haley, rejecting suggestions that Beijing had supplied weapons or military cargo to Iran. "To my knowledge, this is a foreign-flagged container ship," a Chinese foreign ministry spokesperson said, disputing any direct Chinese military link to the vessel. "China opposes any malicious links and hype," Foreign Ministry spokesman Guo Jiaquan added, calling the reports of Chinese arms for Iran baseless smears. Amid this dispute, Trump also said that he would have won the Vietnam War very quickly, drawing a comparison to how he claims he would handle past conflicts. "We have totally won the war. I wish you could hear talks we have with Iranians," Trump added, portraying the US position in the current Iran war as one of decisive advantage. Tensions in the Gulf have sharply escalated after the United States seized an Iranian-linked cargo vessel, identified as Chuscar, on April 19, deepening the standoff in the region. The Chuscar was intercepted and boarded by US forces off the coast of the Iranian port of Chabahar, according to statements from US Central Command describing the operation as a lawful enforcement of the naval blockade. American officials claimed the vessel failed to comply with repeated warnings over a period of roughly 6 hours, prompting the decision to forcibly stop and inspect the ship. The now seized vessel may have been carrying so-called dual-use items, a Reuters report later revealed, meaning equipment or materials that could be applied to both civilian and military purposes. Maritime security sources told Reuters that the seized materials could serve both civilian industrial applications and potential military end uses, fitting within the broader definition of sanctioned cargo. US officials treat certain metals, industrial pipes, and electronic components as sensitive items, because they can be used in missile systems or other weapons-related infrastructure. These same sources also noted that the Chuscar had previously been involved in transporting similar dual-use cargo, reinforcing concerns about its role in Iran's broader procurement network. By expanding the definition of what counts as contraband, the US enforcement posture increases the risk that more neutral or third-country vessels could be subjected to challenge or interception at sea. Analysts warn that such actions could heighten the likelihood of a direct confrontation between US forces and Iranian or Iranian-linked actors in the Strait of Hormuz area. Additionally, Nikki Haley, the former US ambassador to the United Nations, claimed the vessel was carrying chemicals intended for use in missile production, framing the seizure as a major non-proliferation win. The former Republican governor argued that the cargo originated from China, suggesting that Beijing may be indirectly supporting Iran's missile program through commercial channels. These claims, however, have not been independently verified by official US government agencies or international observers, leaving the exact nature and origin of the cargo disputed. Iran has strongly condemned the seizure, describing it as an unlawful attack on a commercial vessel engaged in normal maritime trade, and warned it could violate international law. The Iranian Foreign Ministry has demanded the immediate release of the ship, its crew, and assurances that the detained personnel will be treated safely and in line with international norms. The discovery of materials that could have potential military use comes at a time when the US itself has reportedly faced shortages of certain munitions and precision weapon stocks amid the ongoing conflict. The US. Air Force has officially extended the life of its aging A-10 Warthog attack plane, just as tensions with Iran remain dangerously high. Under the new plan, the A-10 fleet will stay in service until 2030, pushing back an earlier retirement deadline that had been set for 2026. The A-10 first flew in 1976, making it a Cold War veteran that has been on the Pentagon's chopping block for more than 20 years. Within the U.S. Air Force, critics have long argued that the Warthog is simply too old, too slow, and too expensive to maintain in an era of stealth jets and hypersonic weapons. Retiring the A-10, advocates of modernization insist, would free up significant funds for developing hypersonic weapons and other cutting-edge systems. On the other side, critics of retirement warned that scrapping the Warthog without a true replacement would leave ground troops without reliable close air support. At the same time, officials have cautioned that keeping the Warthog fleet running puts extra strain on maintenance units and supply chains needed for newer aircraft. During the recent war with Iran, A-10s were deployed for close air support missions, using their powerful nose-mounted cannons against Iranian boats and positions. Notably, Iranian fire reportedly struck at least one U.S. A-10 during the conflict, forcing the pilot to eject and leaving the aircraft destroyed after crashing in Kuwait. The A-10 was not the only casualty. Reports indicate the U.S. also lost advanced F-35s, F-15E strike fighters, KC-135 tankers and C-130 transports in the Iran war. All of this is happening just as the U.S. faces mounting shortages of key weapons and munitions after months of high-intensity combat.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that we will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest newsmakers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the U.S. will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HD videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.